up, everybody? Let's back that out a little bit. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. And today we're talking about the Onewheel and how it almost killed me. Well, kind of. Not really, but I'll explain. Alright, so today has been a difficult day. I've been trying to film this Onewheel episode for 2 weeks now. And every time that I film, something happens. Something. So, the first time I went to film was right after my Onewheel crash, and the mic broke. But I didn't know that it was the mic because the cable was also broke. So I thought that it was the cable. So what I did was I ordered a new cable from Movo. Figured, you know, same company, same cable. Wrong. It was the wrong one because apparently the mic is a TRRS and the camera's a TRS. And I ordered a TRS because that's what most mics are. That's what the camera is. But that didn't work out. So then I ordered a TRRS and a TRS, and I thought that fixed the problem. So I came out, I filmed, and it did have audio, but it sounded so horrible. It had a high-pitched whine to it. It was mono instead of stereo, and it was just like all bad. And I know this doesn't sound great because of the wind as well, but it sounds better than the last time. I love that river. I do. Always watch for cars. Like, lesson 1 to a Onewheel. Watch for cars, watch for curbs, lips, bumps, and like that. Anyways, so then I was like, you know what? It's having issues. I don't feel like coming out and re-recording it again. So I did an in-studio talk, and I hate when people talk about products that are meant to be used outside, inside. There's the little flippy thing. There's a little flippy thing. So, realizing that I had more audio trouble, I was like, I will just shoot this in studio and not have any issues at all. But I hate videos that are filmed indoors talking about products that are meant to be used outside. So, here we are again for the 4th time making this episode. The 4th time making this episode. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. But now we get on to the Onewheel topics. Alright, so the number one question I get on a Onewheel is how hard is it to ride? And starting out, it is an easy 12 to 14. Easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's more like a 6. Riding this thing is not easy, even once you get the hang of it. I've got now 60 miles on this Onewheel, and I'm still a 5 or 6 on the hard scale. So, be wary of that. Now, if you know how to ride a surfboard, then riding this isn't going to be hard at all. That's how you get off of it. The 2-foot bell. Only way. I drive those. Not those. I hate those. I love those. But once you get the hang of it, it's like riding a surfboard. But if you don't know how to ride a surfboard, it's going to be tricky. Now, my second most asked question, which is my favorite question of all, is how many times have I crashed? And let me tell you, it's been once. I only crashed once, and it was a doozy. I had a couple bruised ribs. Had a couple bruised ribs and road rash and a bruised shoulder joint. I didn't even know that was possible, but I did it. And yeah, other than that though, that was my only crash. Foot bell. Now, the next most common question that I get with that is how much did it cost? And it was expensive. So I got the Pint. I got the Pint Ultimate Bundle. It comes with the Pint, fender, bumpers, side skirt, the side rails, the Ultra Charger, and a couple other things I don't remember, but the mag handle, buy the mag handle. But was it worth it? That's the question. So I bought the Ultimate Bundle for that. Comes with all that. $1,300.50. Now, was it worth it? That depends. I wanted mine to look like a stormtrooper, so I got the slate gray, the white bumpers, the white fender, and the white side skirts. Now, if you don't want that, then you don't have to do that. It's $950 plus shipping. So, now I will say, should you get the Pint or the XR? Now the Pint is $950, $1,300 with the Ultimate Pack. The XR is $2,000 or $2,300 with the Ultimate Pack. And I can't say for sure which one you should get, but I definitely know if you're a bigger guy like me, I'm 6 foot, 280 pounds, and I have an 11 foot. Get the XR. You will not regret getting the XR. The Pint is narrower and it's more awkward to ride when you're bigger. It's like narrow right here. So the next common question is, how long does the battery last? A lot of companies oversell their batteries. Oversell them. But Onewheel does not. They say 6 to 8 miles. I get about 8 miles to a charge. And that's with me being a larger guy and uphill a lot of the time. So, they do tell you what it gets, and it gets about what it gets. So, a couple questions I also get asked, but nowhere near as common, is it durable? I beat the snot out of it. Inserting video here. This is from a failed one, but it's okay because I don't need the audio for it. And then, is it waterproof? That's another one. And, it's overexposed. There we go, that's better. And Teppo and Matty Hapoya have already answered this for everyone when they launched theirs into the lake. It is waterproof because they pulled it out and they're still riding it. Casey Neistat had one of the older XRs and he rode it in the ocean, then he had to replace the foot pad. Now if that's an XR thing, if it's the older XR or what, I don't know. I'm not Onewheel, but they say it's water resistant. I ride it through puddles all the time and I never have a problem. Also, something you should know, the tire on this is just a standard go-kart tire. And Onewheel says you get about 1,000 miles out of that tire. But if you get a nail in it or you have to change it or whatever, you have to ship it to Onewheel or take it to one of their stores to get it fixed. Unless you do it yourself, which is just simply getting a go-kart tire and doing it yourself, but you will void the warranty on the Onewheel. So do at your own discretion. So I didn't need to ride this far. There's plenty back that way. We've ridden like 4 miles at this point, but I wanted to show you these. These are my babies, especially that one. That one's my boat, and I love my boat. But if you ever wondered what I do for a living, I drive those. I'm a 100-ton master captain. So that's how you get off of a Pint. Onewheel says there's 3 ways to get off of it. I've only found that way to be successful. The one is on the front of the board here. You have a touchpad, and then when you put both on, it gives you the go. You're supposed to lift 1 foot off, or like 1/2 of your foot off, and it's supposed to turn off and set down. It doesn't. 9 out of 10 times it doesn't. Every now and then it does. The other way is the simple stop that's built into it. Once the board senses that it goes backwards, like it is now, like right there, it will, once it senses that it's to that point there, it will, supposed to shut off, and then you're not supposed to be able to go backwards, but it goes backwards. It does. So, with all of this being said, what do I suggest you do? Okay? So I've got a couple tips and tricks to surviving this. Tip number 1. Buy a helmet, buy the wrist guards with the little wrist pad thing in it that keeps you from like dying. That's gonna be tip number 1. Tip number 2, and I can't suggest this enough, is practice getting off the board. Whether you have to 2-foot bell it, the half the foot off thing, or the simple stop to the 2-foot bell, practice getting off of it, because it hurts if you don't get it right. Like if you get your back foot off first and then keep your front foot on, it shoots forward. I've launched it like 40 feet. It's insane how far it actually goes. Tip number 3, probably equally as important as tip number 2, but I can't have 2 tip number 2s. Yeah, I've got 2 tip number 2s. Do not try to break land speed records. Just don't. Avoid that. The app rewards you because it's like, well, I've got a lifetime top speed and you get an award if you do a top speed run. Just don't do it. Avoid that. Because every single time somebody's crashed on a Onewheel, it's been pushing the board too hard, and it hurts when you do. Trust me, I did it. There's 4 rules to a Onewheel from Onewheel. Always wear a helmet. When I crashed, I wasn't. Never ride on a dead board. I had like 3% battery left. Never ride as fast as you can. I was doing 16 miles an hour, and never go uphill fast. And I was doing 16 miles an hour uphill. So my accident was my fault, but I was pushing the board beyond what it should have been. And then ultimately, my last tip I can give you is simply be safe. Like, be wise about what you're doing. It hurts when you don't. With that being said, those are my tips. That was one of those times that I hoped nobody came out of their room. I want to make a joke that I'm being chased by security, but I'm not. They're just patrolling their lot. So, who is this board for? Like, what is the point of this board? And it's for adrenaline junkies, 100%. If you like to go fast and like almost die every time you ride it, this is like the board for you. Also, filmmakers. This is perfect for filmmakers because I can do this entire vlog, run through parking lots, all of it, with very little effort, and I'm not getting super tired. It also works as a good gimbal, like super smooth shots. The only thing that's bouncing is my arm. And then I think for anyone who's looking at a boosted board or one of these, it's really gonna depend on where you live. If you live in New York City where the roads are nice and like there's no dirt, definitely the boosted board, 100% boosted board. But if you live in like rural Nevada, like I do, and the roads are imperfect, and you have giant cracks, definitely the Onewheel, because I would not ride a boosted board down this hill. Like, people never realize how much effort goes into a YouTube video until you make one, or you see the behind the scenes, because that was like 10 minutes worth of work for 2 shots. All right, so I'm losing sunlight quickly here, so I'm gonna get to the point. Do you need to buy a Onewheel? If you're looking to have the time of your life with a moderate risk factor, absolutely buy this thing. As I said, I put 60 miles. It's now probably close to 70 miles on this board, and I love every second riding it, other than the one time I crashed. Talking about the crashes, you will bell a lot. You will run stuff out when you hit like lips, curbs, and stuff like that, but it's still fun. If you're a filmmaker, like, have to have one. This thing is an amazing piece of camera equipment that's not even meant to be an amazing piece of camera equipment, but it does such a good job. Now, if you're unsure on if you want one or not, don't go for the XR. Don't go for the Ultimate Bundle Pint, because if it turns out that you don't like it, it's gonna cost you in the end. We're actually gonna do a little off-roading, which the Pint does surprisingly well off-road. It really does. The XR has the bigger tire, so it does better, but this does a great job. Now, with that being said, if you're afraid of skateboards and stuff like that, this is not for you. Stay away from it, because you have to be 100% confident on this thing. Because if you're not, you're gonna pay the price, and it's gonna hurt. But I say, if you're on the fence about buying it, buy it. Just buy it. You'll have fun. You'll have the time of your life. You do need to be very careful. Very, very careful. Because if you're not, it's gonna hurt. I ran out of Riverwalk and hit the bridge. And I was gonna do my outro over the river, but it's just way too loud. So, if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, if it helped you make the decision, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.